Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm just going to remind you it's Tuesday because I thought it was Monday this morning. It feels like a Monday, but it's not. It's Tuesday. And we are doing a dynamic stretch session this morning, and I'm going to add in some breath work for it as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit of feedback on what dynamic stretching is so that you're aware of it and kind of how it is different from maybe our normal stretch that we do on a Friday. So dynamic stretch is essentially used mainly within kind of warm-ups, however can be used as a standalone session on its own because we keep moving. It's not like a hold. So for instance, with regards to like a calf stretch, rather than holding that calf stretch and staying in one place, we would keep moving and we would use the movement in order to create that elasticity within the muscles. So hopefully that makes sense. With a bit of breath work, and then I'm going to end with a little bit of breath work as well, slightly different from what we've done before. Okay, so let me know if you're joining me on the live. Good morning, Sophie. No problem. Enjoy the gym. Good morning to Melza. So we're going to do a little bit of nasal breathing, gang. And when we do our nasal breathing at the end, I'm going to cue you to use your right hand. You're going to do index finger and thumb on your third eye. You're going to use your thumb to close off one nostril, and you're going to breathe in and out of the other side. And then you're going to use your other finger and possibly your little finger, the other side, so you can breathe out of that nostril. So we're going to do a little bit of single nasal breathing as well. So just be aware of that. So I want you to know what you're doing. So we're going to do a little bit of nasal breath without closing the nostrils to start with. So bring yourself to your mat. You don't need anything unless you know that you need a block maybe sometimes. So if you want to use that, that's fine. Feel free to grab a drink anytime you need. So we're going to start standing. And I want you just to bring the attention to your breath. Feel free to close the eyes if that works for you. Sail away with me. And I want you to bring in this nasal breathing. So we're breathing in through the nose, we're breathing out through the nose. Lifetime, won't you? And let that breath be really quite long. Nice deep inhale through the nose and a nice deep exhale through the nose. So you're not holding the breath in any way, shape or form. Nasal breathing helps to tap into our parasympathetic system. So our systematic system, and I know I spoke about this with the vagus nerve session I did, is more of your kind of flight and flight. And your parasympathetic system is more of your, rest and digest. So it's going to help calm the body down, calm the mind, calm everything internal as well. So give yourself the opportunity to just bring that awareness to the breath. Feel that beautiful breath flowing through you. Breath is life. Sail away with me. And then slowly open your eyes. Just be aware of how you feel. So our first dynamic stretch that we're going to do, we're actually going to focus down into the legs, take it into that calf stretch that I showed you just a second ago. So we're going to start by stepping back on the right and back on the left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually work up the body. So normally I work downward through the body, but I'm going to start from the bottom and work up. So this is our dynamic stretch for our calves. Let me just turn side on so you can see me. I'm pushing my heel down in the ground. My front leg stays bent. And I'm going to start to bring in a little bit of arm flow with this as well. So we're going to lift the arms up and down. pushing the heel down in the ground, keeping this moving. So you're going at your own pace and your own tempo. You don't have to match my speed if that doesn't work for you. You can adjust the feet, take the feet wider if necessary. Change the arm line and let's circle back. So again, pushing that heel into the ground, opening up through the chest, allowing that just to happen. Let's do a couple more. Well done. Okay, from here, moving up, bring this into a heel that we're going to come through. Now let me face back to you. So a little heel, dig toes up, and we're working again into a little bit of a forward tilt. So I've moved upward through the back of the legs into, this is a dynamic stretch for your hamstrings. And once we've got the legs going on, we're going to start to bring in an arm. We scoop all the way through. So we dig in the heel, pull the toes, that's important. And scooping through. Stay on the right side here. One more. Then the left. So you should be able to feel the back of the legs getting warm, releasing. Well done. One more. Back to alternating. That's it. We should be feeling really warm. Perfect. Moving upward through the body, heel up. It looks like a hamstring curl, but it's actually a dynamic stretch for the face, for our quads. So you could start with your hands on your hips and just pull those heels up. Feel that lovely stretch in the front of the thigh. And then you can start to bring the arms in. Take that knee back just as far as you can. You could also bring the feet in a bit more narrow. Dynamic stretch there for the quads. Then take the feet wider. Press. Hopefully that makes sense. Good work. Take the feet wide. Lateral lunge. Now we do this a lot. This is our dynamic stretch for our inner and outer thighs, for our hips. So we rock from side to side. So I'm going to do dynamic stretches standing. I'm going to bring you to the floor. We're going to do some on the floor as well. Press through. Good work. So let's take this single, and then hold. And again. And hold. Well done. When we hold, we're not really holding too long. We're just staying there for like a little pulse. Add the arms, drop down. You've done this before. Open. And again. So the key with dynamic stretching is it doesn't stop. You're constantly moving. Hence why it's always used within a warm-up. Sometimes though, depending on what the session is, can be used at the end. Well done. Breathe in and breathe out. Do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. Standing tall, we're going to take the right knee up, out, back and in. Left side, up. So we've got a little open gate here. And this is a great dynamic stretch, again, for the hips, for the inner and outer thigh. Well done. And I'm making this quite graceful, but if you wanted something a little bit more dynamic, you could take it out. Take it out. That's it. It's a little open game. Used a lot by sports players. The players on the pitch, and the girls on the pitch. Some gates as they're moving on, getting those hips on. Well done. One more. Each side. Right knee circle. Give me two more. It's really quite complex. There's loads that we can do with the hips. Go the other way. And obviously you've got a huge network of muscles here feeding in. Change sides. So again, this is just dynamically stretching through the hips. Mainly most of our mobility drills are our dynamic stretches. Good work. So bringing ourselves a little bit further up the body, sides of the waist. Let's lean. So this is our dynamic stretch for the side of the waist. Again, we do this a lot. So you'll realize that actually majority of my warm-up start parts of my classes have got a lot of dynamic stretches in. You do them on a regular basis with me. Reaching that hand down. Now we can make that bigger by taking the arm over, pushing the hip bones to the other wall. We can make it bigger still by taking the arms over from right to left. So even stronger through the sides of the waist. Good work. Dynamic stretch a little bit more for the spine, but into more of a rotation. Bring the hands down. Take your spine twist. So this is a dynamic stretch with regards to the back. And like I said, majority of our mobility drills are dynamic stretches. The two literally are the same thing, just two different names. Extend the arm now. So you're going a little bit deeper. Press it round. Use the breath. Exhale. Inhale. And again. Well done. Dynamic stretch for the spine in flexion. Hands on the thighs and extension. Rounding up and through. So our roll down, whether or not you take it to a full roll or halfway, is a fantastic dynamic stretch for the spine, inflection and extension. So going forward and extending back. Some of you might want to roll it all the way down to the floor. Bend the knees, inhale, exhale and rise when you're ready. Take your time as you move. Bring it through. Let the head drop. Be aware of how that feels. Articulate the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. Okay, so let's think about through our chest and our back a little more. I'm going to swoop and I'm going to stretch. Head down, chin to chest, and head back. So I'm incorporating neck and head as well as chest and back. Let me turn side on so you can see me. So essentially, gang, this is our dynamic stretch for our upper back and our chest. Well done. But we can do a few more for the chest and the back as well. Bring the arms forward and let's reach back on the right, reach back on the left. So again, this is a great one for dynamic stretching of the chest and the back. I'm going to do one more. Then I hit it out on the diagonal here. So this is more for the chest, but you're hitting a little bit of top and low pectoral muscles or your chest muscles. Bringing that through, open and close to center. Again, you can do this at your own speed, whatever feels good for you. Let that space become bigger. Well done. Perfect. Take the arm and lift. Dynamic stretches now for the shoulders. Again, shoulders complex like the hips. Big range of movement, moving in all directions. So we're getting those shoulders warm in our sagittal plane to start. Then we can rotate. We could stay on one side, open up that shoulder, be aware of how it feels, and then change to the other side. So bring it through, and again. Now let's alternate right and left. So let your shoulder relax and release. Open the space. Good work. So really getting those shoulders nice and warm in our dynamic stretches. Perfect. And then I'm bringing that all the way right up to the neck. We've done a little bit of dynamic stretching for the neck with our head down and up when we were doing our chest and back. But just on that, you don't have to move quick. We can take the head to the right, bring it down over to the left. And again. Well done. So I'm going to bring you down to the floor. Let's take our roll. It's very warm in the conservatory club today. Calf stretch here. If we're moving through the legs and bending one knee and straightening the other leg, this is a dynamic stretching calf stretch again. So I've gone back down the body, pressing through, being aware of how that feels. Again, you're moving, you're not holding. We're constantly moving from one side to the other. When it feels good for you, we're going to drop the knees and we're going to take our cat to cow. Again, this is a lovely dynamic stretch for the spine. Lift and lower. Belly button to the ceiling, belly button to the floor. Let the shoulders come away from the ears. Now you could stay with that if you want, but if you want to make this a little bit bigger, we come back into our child's pose and push forward into our cobra. Again, I'm not going to hold. I'm going to move. So continuously moving here, bringing this through. If that's not good for you this morning, you stay with your cat to cow. That's fine. Well done. I'm going to lay you all the way down into the floor. We're going to take one leg, come over into scorpion, change sides. Have your hands under your forehead. Keep your hands down. Keep your head down. So we're lifting and we're rotating. This is a dynamic stretch for your back, but also for your quads, because we've got that hamstring curl action. Coming over. Opening up the hip flexors. Opening up the thighs. One more. Perfect. Push back. We're going to take our right leg forward and our left leg forward. Big step. This is dynamic stretch for your hip flexors, your psoas muscles. If you need to put something under your knees, please feel free. You've got this big step. So a lunge is a dynamic stretch. A squat is a dynamic stretch as well. But I know there's lots of people who are not big fans of them in our group. So I didn't do any in our standing, but I'm going to show you different ones. This is obviously replicating like a lunge position, coming forward and through. I'm going to stay on my right leg. I'm going to come forward and back. And again, I'm going to add some arms. Lift up and lower. I want you to be able to see me moving into that lunge position here. And then I'm going to start to bring that into the hamstring. So we're going to come forward and then into the hamstring. Push the hips back. So dynamic stretch for the thigh, the hips, the hip flexors, your hamstrings, getting your calf in there as well. Now stay back, drop, and then lift. So focusing just on the back of the leg, hamstrings and calves. Little lift and lower. Pull the toes to you. Well done. Change sides. Bringing that forward and back. Again, adding the arms if you wish. The arms are never compulsory, so please don't feel you have to. You don't have to do anything. You're an adult. You can choose. But just working to the range of movement that feels good for you. I always want to give you the options. Be aware of how things feel. Anything feels uncomfortable, you don't do. But if it feels good, then do it. Well done. Bringing that through. We're then going to start to bring that back, just like we did on the other side. So hips, thighs, dynamically stretching together. So we're getting the quads and the hip flexors, your psoas muscles, and your hamstrings and your calf. Stay back, down and lift. Drop. So just really opening up the back of the leg. Be aware of how that feels. Well done. Now, again, we're going to go back to the right leg. We're going to work more into the hip, inner and outer thigh. I'm just going to move back slightly so you can see me. If you need to put something under your left knee, please do. We're going to work into that hip. Notice I'm moving. And what I'm doing in rolling my foot. So I'm rolling onto the outside of my foot here. So let me just bring this screen down so that you can see that position. Opening and closing. This hand can post. You can go on a block if you need to. You're pushing that knee out. Dynamic stretch there. Perfect. Then gang. Bring that to a 90-90 and tuck forward and back. So you're going to come into dynamic stretch, mainly the psoas, yeah? So your iliopsoas is the kind of correct name for your hip flexor. Most people shorten that down to psoas. But in layman's terms, it's your hip flexor muscles. Tuck forward and come back. And that's what we're getting right now with this little tilt of the pelvis forward, trying to tuck your tailbone through your legs, getting that dynamic stretch for our hips and our quads. And then we can stay forward and we can drive that with the arm, giving us this beautiful opening up of the hip flexor, incorporating the sides of the waist, side of the back there as well. Well done. Change the legs over. Go back to that knee opener here and in. Open and close. A little roll out of the foot. Be aware of how that feels. You're going to keep that going, gang. I just need to grab a drink quickly. So open and close. Good work. Press. So I want you to really feel your hip releasing. This is opening up the outside of the hip. Perfect. And then we come back to our 90-90 and we're going to tilt forward and back. So we've got that little tilt here, our dynamic stretch for our hip flexors, tucking the bottom under and then releasing, pushing back. So if I turn side on, you can see me. That's the movement. It's a tuck under and a push back. And hopefully that feels good for you. Then we stay forward with the pelvis and we drive with the arm over. So stay forward, tuck your tailbone through the legs, stay there with your pelvic position. Your movement then comes from upper body in this lateral movement. The way that the hip flexors lie is not straight. So they're kind of like inward, which is why this kind of diagonal position really works. Come down to your bottom. Another dynamic stretch for the hips that's really good is bringing this into a little knee roll, which again we can elaborate on. We can make this a little bit bigger to incorporate a bit more of the back, a bit more deeper into the hips. So I'm going to come to a 90-90 and I'm going to twist. So if this isn't good for you, go back to the hands back behind you and just roll the knees. But otherwise you're twisting through, coming to that 90-90. Now I always turn into like a little caterpillar and I wiggle myself off the mat. So I just pulled myself back there a little bit. Rotate just as far as that feels good for you. Well done. Lovely. Come all the way round. Another dynamic stretch for the shoulder. We're going to take the arm out and we're going to lace through. Again, I'm not going to hold. I'm going to move. So bringing that out, turn the head the other way. Keep that head turned as the hand comes through as well. Now, bring this just into your thread like a needle. Thread like a needle is a fantastic dynamic stretch for your chest, for your back, for your shoulder. So do maybe 4, maybe 10, depending on how you feel. Oh, sorry gang, that was terrible, that connection then. I lost you for a long time. So sorry. Hopefully you continued and possibly are in your thread like a needle now. Literally just lost complete connection. Everything went off. So massive apologies, but hopefully you stayed and you knew what you were doing, because we were just on this other side, working through into that thread like a needle. So hopefully that made sense. Well done. Okay, so our final dynamic stretch for our back is our knee roll. Taking this over from right to left, let the arms go wide. Shoulders, pin them down into the floor. You could have your feet on the floor. You could have your legs wide if you wanted to, and roll those knees in and away. So again, this is a dynamic stretch for the spine, just into a rotation. But then we could also do our dynamic stretch for our spine into our shoulder bridge. Inflection and extension. So lifting and lowering. The shoulder bridge itself is a dynamic stretch for the back. I don't want you to hinge from your hip. I want you to articulate your spine. Start with your coccyx. Come up vertebrae by vertebrae. Lower yourself down vertebrae by vertebrae. Plant those feet. Incorporate the arms if you wish. Lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. Coccyx hits the floor. Bring the arms by your side. Inhale, exhale. Lift. Lower when you wish. Good work. Okay, gang. We're going to take a little knee hug and come up to sitting. We're going to finish with some breath work. So remember I said we were going to do this breath work. We're going to use our right hand, index finger, and our middle finger are going to go to our third eye. We're going to close our right nostril with our thumb. And I want you to breathe in and out of your left nostril. Let the breath be really nice and long. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Now close the other nostril, left nostril, open the right, and breathe in and out of the right side. So just tapping into our feminine and our masculine side. Masculine side being the right side, feminine side being the left. And we're just trying to balance this equilibrium here. You might find, like I am, definitely clearer on my left side than I am on my right. That's something that I feel from a regular basis. Definitely more open on my feminine side than I am on my masculine. Flex the hands, just nasal breathe here normally. In through the nose, out through the nose. And take a moment just to reflect on how you feel from today's session. Take a moment of gratitude, whether or not you have your hand to your heart or your hands in prayer pose. Be thankful that you were able to put yourself first this morning and you came to class. You did that for you. If you're doing this on catch up, you understand the importance of that. doing something for your body, something for your mind, and something for your soul. Have a moment of gratitude for your body, this amazing vehicle that moves you around and does everything you want it to do. For this amazing VIP group, the community that it brings. Be thankful for yourself. We take a breath, inhale, rise. Exhale and we fold. Heavy head comes over. Slowly bring yourself up to standing. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll the shoulders, take a breath. Exhale down to your heart center. Keep hold of this feeling for as long as possible. Lock into the heart center. Take your right arm up and your left. Right hand forward and your left. Right palm in and your left. Give yourselves and each other a superb round of applause. Well done, everybody, gang. No worries. Demelza, I know, I lost you for a while. So sorry about that. But hopefully that felt okay and we got back together in the end. Let me know if there's any questions, gang. Apologies about the connection lost this morning, but hopefully that kind of made sense and you knew where I was. Thanks ever so much, gang. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on a live or on a catch-up real soon.